listen, I don't know if you heard this story, but NFL legend and ESPN host Shannon Sharpe is now apologizing after he accidentally went live on Instagram while he was having sex. So he treated his followers to some racy audio. So we didn't see anything, but we heard a whole lot. Obviously, we can't play it for you. It's daytime TV.
But it's good weekend listening, so...
That's a way to make Friday spicy. Okay, but the question we're asking today, we'll start with you, Kate, is do you think that this is going to impact at all Shannon Sharpe's career as an NFL broadcaster?
I agree with this audience. I think that's a hard no.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with the specifics. He is not married. It was, by all accounts, consensual. It was heterosexual sex with a woman. So no, I don't think it will impact his career. I think it also helps that it was audio only, not visual.
Yeah.
Right? And this guy's in the content business. That video where he owned up to it, that YouTube video, has 1.6 million YouTube views. So he is already winning.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I can't help but think about is the embarrassment. If I send an email to the wrong person, I want to crawl in a hole.
Yeah.
If my colleague called me, Cynthia, and was like, 300,000 people just heard you have sex.
Yeah.
And I had to apologize to my boss, to the woman involved, to my family.
I know.
I don't know how I'd recover.
Listen, I'm a sex educator, and I talk about sex all the time, and I would be mortified, right? Like it is a horrifying thing, and we think about it. It'll drift out of the news cycle very, very quickly for all the reasons you just said. But it does beg that question of like, is it the fact that he is a man? Is it the fact that the type of sex was so, you know, by all accounts, vanilla? Like, could it, if it's true.
He would take offense to that, maybe.
In fairness, I actually do have to say, in fairness, I actually sent an all call out to our staff today. I was like, can someone send me the audio of this thing? And nobody sent it to me. So I haven't actually heard it yet. But what I'm hearing is that it wasn't kinky, it wasn't queer. And I think it does remind you that depending on the type of sex that this person was having, even though they aren't married, even though they have every right to do it, even though it was an accident, would this have been a whole different kind of scandal? Were those other elements involved?
Well, I mean, the first question I said was, you know, if this was Erin Andrews, would we be having the same conversation?
So gender,
And you all know Erin Andrews. She's probably one of the most famous female sportscasters on television. And no, his career's not going to be hurt because we think we're so progressive in this culture. And yet when you think about potentially what would have happened if the genders were reversed, we still use sex as a way to bolster a man's profile.
Right.
But sex is still consistently weaponized against women. And so even if it was accidental and it was straight sex and all of those things, I can't imagine a world where someone like an Erin Andrews wouldn't wear this
in a different way.
In a different way for the rest of her career.
I do agree with you, but I also wonder if it's the way that he owned up to it that is helping and takes away sort of the gender equation, because he did it with a little bit of humor. He ate his humble pie. He said, yes, this happened. And his career is going to be fine. ESPN is fine. And I think
he might get a raise. He might get a raise.
I think
1.6 million views.
His reputation will be fine as well. Kind of reminds me of Hugh Grant. Do you guys remember back in '95? When he met Divine Brown on the streets of LA, I believe. She was a sex worker. And like that, his mugshot went around the world and he handled it with humor. I think it was on Dave Letterman where he's just like, yeah, I did this. And this was like floppy-haired, sweet, romantic comedy, Hugh Grant, and everyone was like, oh, but he's fine now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah. He's fine now. Yeah, he is.
So if it ever happens to any of us, we just have to use humor.
Yes, just use humor.
That's
And be men.
Wow.
That's the takeaway.
And be men.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.